Hello, welcome to this week's cook along. It's a Valentine's special. We're not doing a kind of cheesy sort of Valentine's menu. There's no fillet steak and prawn cocktail, etc. But we've got some delicious dishes here for you. Starter's really simple. It's kind of a take on a signature dish of ours that we serve quite often as a kind of a mousse-bouche. Usually it's an little egg cup. We put a parsley foam on top, etc. But it's a larger version. So here we've got a velouté. It's made from set mushrooms. It's incredibly meaty and powerful, this. Believe it or not, it has no stock in it at all, and it's completely vegetarian. We really season that heavily. It's got a really intense flavour. We've got some wild mushrooms that are going to go on the top. We're going to really lightly cook those and finish them off. And then here we've got one of the best ingredients in the world for me. Incredible smoked eel, British smoked eel. It's a really difficult product to obtain now. There's only 2 suppliers in the UK. It's got to be managed because it's quite a rare thing and it's a real special ingredient, so I hope you enjoy it. The assembly of this is really easy. Basically, I'm just going to warm the soup up. You can microwave it or you can do it in a pan. You've got chives that need chopping. Now I've chopped my chives. When you come to chop them, make sure your knife's really sharp. And if you can just come up to me, don't do the Jamie Oliver thing of going like that. Get your knife sharp, slice through the chives like that, because you don't want them bruised at all. You want them all perfect like that, ideally. Okay. Right, so first things first, get your bread on before we actually start cooking this. So put your oven on 175, stick the bread in there, and then I'll show you how to assemble this. So, I'm just warming up the soup in the microwave. I've got a pan on here that's red hot. I've taken the eel out and I've diced it up for the garnish. Let it sit at room temperature just to come up to temperature. So I'm just going to put some veg oil or olive oil or whatever in the pan, doesn't really matter. Get it nice and hot and smoking. Now, we only have a small amount of soup because it's very rich. So the soup is almost like a dressing for this, if you like. The soup's quite intense and it's quite well seasoned, so I'm going to add a little bit of salt, but only a tiny amount because the actual soup is very well flavoured. So I want some colour on these mushrooms. Make sure you add enough oil to actually colour them as well. Now ordinarily at this stage, when I'm cooking mushrooms, I'd hit the pan with some butter to help the colour, etc. and the flavour. But the actual soup is so rich that it doesn't need it. So what you need to do is get a little bit of J-cloth, kitchen paper, etc. and just pop it on a tray like this, just to let it drain off. Because we don't want any extra fat added to the actual velouté. So I've warmed my soup up. Really important, just do it in batches, in little sort of bursts of heat, because it will catch around the edge if you want it like this. Or do it in a pan. If you do it in a pan, don't boil it, because there's a lot of butter in here and it could split. So just warm it gently. So as I say, we don't want loads of this because it's incredibly rich. And it's kind of a dressing really for the mushrooms that go on top. So obviously if you're using a circular bowl, you can just do them around the edge. I'll just pick this one, we'll go straight down the middle with these. Just pop the eel. This combination of the kind of smoked eel and the earthy mushrooms is something I absolutely adore. And then the chives. There we go. So that's a velouté of set mushrooms with sautéed wild mushrooms and smoked eel. So on to our main course, and you're going to have one of my absolute favourite things. It's a kind of, I was agonising over what to do for this. You know, I went through the fillet steak and all the other things, but everybody else was doing that. So I thought, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of missing sunshine and I'm kind of missing holidays. And my favourite place in the world is the Basque Country in the north of Spain. And kind of wanted to do something that kind of brought a bit of that into the kitchen. So we've got a beautiful piece of Bellota grade Iberian pork. This is Pressa, which is from the shoulder. So you can see it's got all this marbling through it. This is from a black-leg pig from the Basque Country, the Pata Negra. It feeds exclusively on acorns. So the fat in it is monounsaturated, it's very healthy. It has an incredible sweet flavour. And I've already brined it and cooked it. So it looks raw, but it's actually cooked. So what we're going to do is we just need to what we call regenerate it. So essentially, we're just going to get a bit of colour on it, get the Maillard effect happening to get the brown in, get a bit more meaty flavours coming out of it. Bear in mind that because it's brined, it'll brown a little bit quicker than beef steak. But we eat this pink, so this is essentially like ham anyway. But this has been cooked to pasteurisation and it's been left in the bag. So it's completely safe to eat like that. It's delicious like that actually. But we're going to reheat it. So what you want to do is, everybody's got different size pieces. They're all the same weight, but some are thin, some are thick, some are triangular shaped, some are flat. So you've got to use a bit of common sense in how to heat it. So if you've got a thin, long piece, obviously it's probably only going to need a minute either side and then a rest and it'll be done. This one's quite short, but it's thick. So this is going to need, look at the beautiful fat one. How gorgeous. This is going to need probably a couple of minutes, gentle, and then 1 or 2 minutes through the oven. What you're looking for is you want it to be mid-50s degrees, so about 54, 55. If you've got a temperature probe, you can measure it. If not, you can just stick a little knife inside it, in the centre, and basically let it sit in there for 10 seconds, then just pop it on your top lip, and it should feel warm, not hot. If it's hot, it's overcooked. If it's cold, it's raw, but just warm. So I'm going to just start colouring this up. Just want a kind of hot heat to start out with, then we'll reduce it to medium. So I'm just going to press down in the centre to get a nice bit of contact with the pan. If you come back to me in a minute, I'll show you when it's been nicely coloured and ready for the oven. So I've got a nice little bit of colour on the meat now. Now bearing in mind it will continue cooking in the oven. The oven is on at 175 degrees in a fan oven. As I say, some's going to need it in the oven, some isn't. I'm just going to give this literally 1 minute. It's had about a couple of minutes either side, just to kind of heat through. If you come back to me in a minute, I'll show you exactly how we need it cooked. So while that's in the oven, we just need to just warm everything else through. So saying again, you can do it in a microwave, etc. What I tend to do is, because we've got 2 ovens, I keep one on quite slightly low and you can just pop things in there. You might not have 2 ovens, but we can rest the meat and the meat will retain its heat for quite some while we heat this up. So what we've got here, we've got some Spanish style beans with some Iberico chorizo and thyme and white Rioja wine in it. We've got some romesco sauce, and we've got some sweet corn puree. And this here is a bit of a little secret of mine. It's sort of umami butter, so it's got all sorts of things in it that makes everything super, super tasty. We're going to use that to dress some of this broccoli, and we might put a little bit over the meat as well. The meat should have warmed up now. I'm just going to get it out of the oven. Make sure that you use a towel or oven gloves, etc. Every time I do this, someone complains at themselves. So yeah, nice colour on that now. Just going to rest it. If you can see there, still pink, still a little bit tender in the middle, which is exactly how we want it. So that's just going to rest while we warm everything else up. And if you come back to me in a minute, I'll show you everything heated. And we're gonna plate it. So everything's nearly heated. Just gonna do the butter in the microwave. I'm just gonna cook the broccoli now. Very last minute, so heat everything else up first and then do the broccoli. Dead easy this. So all we need to do is bring it up to a boil, pop the broccoli in, pop the lid on, and just 2 minutes, exactly 2 minutes is all it needs. So you notice with this, I haven't seasoned it this time, no salt, and also I've not seasoned the meat, so the meat is, because it's brined, it's already got salt through it, and with this we're going to use the seasoned butter to actually cook it. So in 2 minutes time, you'll see I've just got a tiny amount of water in there, not boiling it, I'm just steaming it essentially. We'll come back to it and I'll show you us finishing it off with the butter and plating everything. So my broccoli's cooked, so I'm just going to dress it with a little bit of the butter. So get into the bottom of the butter and get all the good stuff out of there. Give it a little dress. I'm also going to get a little bit and just pop it on the meat as well. Right, so now it's just time to plate everything. So dress that. Again, just sit it to one side to let it drain off. So I've got a nice plate here. We'll pop our beans on one side. So you've got beautiful chunks of Iberico chorizo in there. Check the meat. Beautiful. So you can see, absolutely gorgeous, succulent meat. Just put that on there. Our broccoli, which we'll just dress around the plate. We just got a couple of purees. So I went for sweet corn because I thought, you know, it's got a bit of a Spanish vibe with the red and the yellow. And you can just put this in blobs or whatever you want, really. Just clean the plate up a little. I'm just going to take a little of this chive, just dot that on one end, dot that on the other end, and there we go. So on to dessert. So we've got a real favourite combination of mine. It's a panna cotta, chocolate panna cotta, nice dark chocolate one. And then this is a caramel that's made with roast banana. And then I've just got a tuile here that I've made from, peanut. So it's kind of like a peanut sort of caramel tuile type thing. So we're just going to mould the panna cotta. So got a pan of water on. Put gloves on if you're not used to doing this. Put it in there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just keep wobbling it, and when it actually wobbles, so you know it's ready. Right, so this stage we'll just mould it. Let's give it a squeeze like this. You're just looking to get a little bit of air, basically, into there. If it doesn't work, if it doesn't come out, all you need to do, this one's been a bit difficult, is just release it with a little bit of a hole in the top. Just gentle, obviously you don't want to, hey presto. Right, so we've got a little bit of additional chocolate sauce here. You can actually heat this if you want to, and actually pour it over the top, so have it as a sort of hot chocolate sauce. Or you can just have it over, if you don't want to use this, have it with ice cream or whatever. I'm just going to pop this on top. And I've just got my caramel. Put some little dots all around. There we go. So it's our chocolate panna cotta with peanut swirl, roast banana caramel. So thank you once again for supporting us. The response to this has been absolutely incredible. We're literally sold out 50 places in 10 minutes or so. So I do apologise for all those people that didn't manage to get a place. I know a lot of people kind of were a bit annoyed about it, but we just have to allocate them in the time that people respond to us. We've got limited fridge space, so we can't do any more. We'd love to do 200-300, but we just can't do. But thanks so much. And for those that have actually got a meal and are going to be cooking it, if you want to post on social media, please do so. So my personal page is on Facebook is Michael Price. We've got the gourmet dining room page on there as well. We've got the_kitchen_and cook on Instagram. If you could take pictures of your meals and post them, and whoever does the best looking plate, we're going to give you a bottle of champagne. So happy Valentine's Day, and I'll look forward to seeing your meals. Thank you.